Right everybody, now welcome to a new video, and today's video I'm going to try and give you the opportunity to create the best meal plan for you. Now the first point of this video is that I don't believe in strict meal plans, but what I do believe in is going to change the way you think about nutrition and give you a better setup to make sure that you get the results that you want from a few little points just to keep in mind when you are eating throughout the day and day-to-day life. Now, to build the best meal template for you, you need a few little bits of information. Now, the first thing that you need is the total goal calories and macros that you need for your goals. So, first of all, you need to ask yourself what your goal is. So, if mine was fat loss, that is my goal. Then what I need to do is find out the calorie maintenance for my body and then reduce into a 500 calorie deficit and find my calorie goals for fat loss. Okay, so we're going to come back around to that in a second. The second thing that you need to think about is, what is your day-to-day life? Are you someone that is working from home right now where you've got all the time in the world to cook? Perhaps you're working in an office. Perhaps you are someone who is working on site. I don't know what your situation is, but you need to ask yourself, how many meals and snacks can you likely eat and consume per day? Because I don't want to give you a meal plan that perhaps I could have when you have a completely different schedule to me. Now, once you do this, we are going to come up with a formula to give you the exact amount of calories that you are allowed per meal. And once you get to know this, you can start introducing foods and checking out foods in the supermarket, and checking out foods on MyFitnessPal, and putting in the correct food sources that equate to the calories and the macros that you are allowed per meal and per day to stay on track. So the formula that we are going to be using to give you the best and the most accurate goal for macros and calories per meal is total goal calories and macros for the day divided by your estimated meals. And this is going to give you the total amount of calories and macros that you are allowed per meal. How does this make sense? I'm going to give you an example that we're going to run through right now with probably the most famous, most trending person, the most annoying person on your feed right now. We're going to go with Bojo. Right, hypothetically speaking, we are going to use Boris as an example person to help you understand how this works. Say Boris Johnson, hypothetically speaking, is a 200-pound male and he wants to lose body fat, okay? So he has went on one of them online calculators, or he knows what his maintenance calories are and he knows what his deficit calories are. And that has came out perfectly with 2,000 calories per day. Once he has this, he's used the percentages of 40, 40, 20. So 40% protein, 40% carbs and 20% fat. And that has left him with 200 grams of protein for the day, 200 grams of carbs for the day and 45 grams of fat for the day. Okay, so those are his total goal calories and macros for the day for Boris's goals to lose body fat. Now, after we've got that there, we are going to divide that by, we'll ask Boris, what does he get up to per day, right? He has breakfast, he has lunch, he does a speech that messes up the full country, he has dinner, and then he normally has a late night snack. So there is 4 hits per day, 4 meals and snacks per day. So we have Boris's calories are 2,000 to divide by 4 meals per day, which is coming out at 500 calories per meal. You then get the protein, 200 grams, that was his goal, because we know that for a 200-pound male, he should have 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So he gets 50 grams of protein per meal. Same thing for carbs, divided by 4, 50 grams of carbs per day. And then for the fat, his 45 grams of daily allowance, he's going to divide by 4, which comes out at about 11 grams of fat per day. Okay, so this is how we're making sense of understanding what you're allowed per day, dividing it by the amount of times you think you frequently eat per day. So with Boris we've used 4, but if it was 5, we would just change the number to 5 and divide all his macros by that number. Once we get to this point here where Boris knows that per meal he is allowed 500 calories, 50 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbs and 11 grams of fat, what you can start doing is creating your own meal plan that is perfect for you on a daily basis. So he might go to the supermarket and think, right, I know that 200 grams of chicken, from reading the back of the label, 200 grams of chicken, which is likely one big chicken breast from Costco or Tesco or something like that, is 50 grams of protein. So per meal, I'm gonna have 1 chicken breast, okay? And it has to be that quantity. Now, he then goes into the rice section and he finds a bag of Uncle Ben's spicy rice. And he looks at the back of the packet and what do you know? 250 grams is about 55, 60 grams of rice. So he's a little bit, 55, 60 grams of carbs on the back of the packet of rice when he reads it. So he knows that he's got a bag of rice, he's gonna give a little bit of the misses, but generally, that 50 grams of carbs per meal is from that bag of rice and he's gonna leave some, okay? So it's about 3/4 of a bag. Then, what do you know? He likes a little bit of Peronaise from Nando's, okay? Peronaise, mayonnaise, it's pretty fatty, so he uses like 20 grams, has it over the chicken and rice on his tea after his speech, and it equates to 11 grams of fat. So he knows that that's a staple meal for the day, okay? Once you understand this, you can start thinking about your day and thinking, right, what is my schedule, right? I have 4 meals per day. Every one of those needs to equate to 50 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbs, and 11 grams of fat. Now, obviously, I'm a realist. In the real world, you are probably not perfectly a 200 pound meal, okay? You are probably gonna get numbers that are a lot more difficult to work out, okay? So you might be like 163 pound female whose calories come out at 1,873, but the same format and the same formula works exactly for you. Do the formula, get the numbers, and then start working around and playing around with foods that you know you like to find out what portion and what portion control that you are allowed per meal. Okay, and this is where you can create a meal template that works for you on your daily schedule, that is actually going to get you results, that is actually going to work for you, and you're not just guessing random quantities of foods and never seeing results. And that is it. That is going to be how you create your meal template. And once you've done this, it is great to go on a piece of paper, like get a chalkboard in the kitchen, I've seen people do, work all of this out. And what you might do is you just get 5 different sources of protein. So say you like chicken, you like lean beef mince, you like Hex sausages from the supermarket, you like eggs for breakfast, and you like salmon. Okay, they're your 5 sources. What you need to do is you need to think they are pretty much predominantly protein sources. So those are your 5. You're going to write them down on a list. And every meal for your protein intake for 50 grams, you're going to have to include maybe like, say it would be 4 eggs. It would be 200 grams of chicken. It would be 220 grams of salmon. Find out what that is that relates to your meal goal, and that is going to be how you get results. Now, I hope that makes sense. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It is a lot of spiel, but it looks crazy on the board right now, but it really isn't, okay? If you have any questions, I will try and get around to them, put them in the comment section below. That is all for now on this video. Yeah, thank you. Give the video a like, give it a thumbs up, and apart from that, go work out the formula and get tracking.